Election by the numbers. I'm Jeff Stein with today's Iowa Politics Report. It may not have been the red wave that many forecasted, but according to Gallup, there was plenty of movement to the GOP in last November's general election. The Gallup company was, of course, founded by Jefferson, Iowa native and University of Iowa graduate George Gallup. The company added up all its 2022 polls and found that last year, 45% of Americans identified as Republican or leaning Republican. That's compared with 44% who called themselves Democrat or leaning Democrat. Now, at first blush, that might not seem like big news. After all, the U.S. House and U.S. Senate are nearly evenly split, and we have become accustomed to Americans being divided politically. But Gallup says the results are striking because Democrats usually hold a multiple point edge in this survey. Now it's Republicans leading by a point, and it marks the first time in 31 years that Republicans had a higher number than Democrats in the survey at all. That was back in 1991, right after the Persian Gulf War, and is the only time that significantly more Americans identified as Republican as opposed to Democrat. And that was only by 48 to 44%. Again, more than 3 decades worth of information here being used for comparison. Dig a little deeper and you find that the share of Democrats who now call themselves liberal increased from 50 to 54% last year. That's an all-time high. Meanwhile, the share of Democrats who call themselves conservative dropped to an all-time low at only 10% of the party. And the percentage claiming to be a moderate Democrat also dropped to only 36% of the whole. Now, Gallup also noted that political independents have now reached an all-time high, as 41% of us identify as independent. This in comparison with 28% Republican and 28% Democrat. That may well be the headline, really. As the parties each grow more extreme, the number of folks who want nothing to do with either party grows. And we wonder why there's such dissatisfaction with the whole thing. And that's the Iowa Politics Report for Monday, January 16 on Twitter, Instagram, Getter, Parler, and Truth Social at Iowa Politics. I'm Jeff Stein on News Talk 1540 KXEL.